Hey everybody, so today I thought we'd talk about something I found kind of interesting over the past month during the holidays here. I am a fan of Fall Guys. Have you played this game? It's an excellent game where you play these little bean guys hopping around. It's a 3D racing platformer. I absolutely love it. I come back to it every few months and play a few rounds. I think it's great. But, you know, it's been interesting to watch this game's course of recent reviews over the last month. You know, seems as though the Fall Guys audience now, the players who play the game, they seem to hate the game now. The game was review bombed on Steam to the point where it actually reached the level of mixed for recent reviews, and at the core of it all is basically players' hatred for a very particular company which has come up a lot, Epic Games. So if you don't know the history, back in May of 2019, Epic actually bought Psyonix. It's the team behind Rocket League. It was a very, very popular game. Came out several years ago at this point, but still very popular. So it came to be known that when Epic was buying Rocket League, they were actually going to remove the game from Steam. That is to say, you couldn't purchase it anymore on Steam. If you already owned it on Steam, you could still play it there, which I still do. However, they were also adding in two huge features, which is cross-progression and cross-platform play. That means that if you're on Xbox, you can play with somebody on PlayStation, or if you're on, Switch, you can play with somebody on Steam, or mix them all up. You can play with anybody from anywhere, and it works great. I can speak to this myself because I've played it on all of the different platforms, or many of them, with friends, and it works great. And the cross-progression was even better because I had put years and years of unlocks into my account on Steam. So for them to add that to the other places where I play the game, like on my Switch and stuff, I thought that was awesome. So fast forward to March of 2021, and Epic decided they're going to buy Tonic Games Group. Now, Tonic Games Group also owns Mediatonic, which is the development team that works on Fall Guys. So when I heard this, I thought, okay, they're going to do the exact same thing. Fall Guys is going to come out on these other platforms. It was announced for Switch. It's not out yet, but when it does come out, you'll be able to do the whole cross-progression thing on it. Everything that you unlocked on Steam or PlayStation or whatever. If you play it on Switch, you're going to have all your unlocks there, which is exactly what they did. However, at the end of November in 2021, when they implemented these changes, cross-progression, cross-platform play, they also made it so players had to do one other thing. And this is what players are upset about. They did it with Rocket League, and now they did it with Fall Guys, which is requiring you to have an Epic Games account to continue playing. Now, the Epic account is kind of vital because it's become a pivot point for what you connect to actually get onto the server that connects you to all the other platforms that are playing. So if you were playing on Steam and you wanted to play with somebody on PlayStation, that is where you have to connect, and that is why you have to set up an account. At least that's the belief anyway, right? Regardless if this is truth or belief, this really seemed to rattle some cages amongst the Fall Guys community. I say that because during December, thanks to this Wayback Machine that we have, we can take a look. We can actually see the trajectory of the recent reviews go from mostly positive to mixed, and then back again to mostly positive within a few weeks. So here on December 1st, right after the update came out, you can see that it has about 7,600 recent reviews, and the game is sitting at a mostly positive. And even on December 2nd, there are only around 70 more reviews added, and it's still sitting at mostly positive. But as soon as December 3rd hits, the recent reviews jump to about 8,500, and it's then sitting at mixed. And whew, that was quick, wasn't it? Now, it makes sense at that number, right? There are only around 1,000 more reviews than before. It's more believable because there's gamers who probably bought the game over Thanksgiving break, maybe played it a little bit, didn't know that Epic had bought them, and, then a week later, they're like, hey, now you got to make an Epic Games account. This probably caught people off guard. They decide, hey, I'm going to leave a review about this. And whether it was about them having trouble actually logging in or trouble with the game launching or maybe they just hate Epic, I don't know. But we're actually going to take a big jump here all the way to December 28th, just after Christmas. We now have about 1,200 recent reviews, and it's mixed. Now, it's not surprising that this many players would have bought the game over Christmas break, but all of them leaving a negative review seems kind of fishy and kind of strange, doesn't it? Like, you mean to tell me that out of these thousands of people who are reviewing and play the game, all of them are leaving negative reviews? I don't know. Almost seems like they might be doing it just to do it. I don't know. We'll see. But once we hit January 7th, we're back to mostly positive and around 8K recent reviews. So when I first saw this drop, I was under the impression that a lot of the negative reviews were removed by someone, as Steam has this rule against abusive reviews, and review bombing, I believe, is considered abusive. But if you look at the all reviews number from December to January, it just doesn't reflect that anything was removed. The number just keeps going up. And if you go to the actual review section for Fall Guys, you'll see that all the negative reviews are indeed still there. So here you can see on the reviews page, there's plenty of negative reviews, and we have the most recent selected along with negative only, because that is what we want to see, is what we're focusing on here. And what I'm trying to do here, guys, is, trying to figure out if this review bombing thing was actually from legit players or just from people trying to mess with, Mediatonic or something. And with reading these reviews, guys, I could care less. Like, I could go either way. If you don't like the game, do like the game, don't like Epic, do like Epic. Whatever. I don't really care. I don't have a side. There's no dog in the fight here for me at all. But, the thing that I do think about is whether these reviews are authentic or not. Are these actual players who are mad about this, or are these players who are jumping on the bandwagon to hate Epic? It's kind of what I want to know. And the very first one is, dude, all you do is crash. Yeah, you jump and crash into people, right? Let's see. Okay, it gets boring really fast, boring and dead. Epic bad. Okay, so that's our first anti-Epic comment there. So 14 hours on record, Epic bad. 16.3 hours on record. Why it need to link with idiot Epic account when we play on Steam? Because they bought them. That's why. Someone else put about 10 hours in and says, but. Just wanted to read that one because it has nothing to do with Epic, but still very funny. It's a very articulate one. Although this game is very enjoyable and I would have happily recommended it in the past, I cannot recommend this game in its current state, now that an Epic Games account is now required to play. I don't know if this is something that can be reversed, but it will have to be reversed if I'm going to continue playing Fall Guys. But this person only had 20 hours into the game, so maybe they ran their course with it. Here you go. Product refunded. 2.3 hours on record. You now actually need an Epic Games account to play this game on Steam. Absolute garbage. Which, with 2.3 hours on record, I mean, how much of this game were you actually going to play? I don't know. Here's another one. 2.4 hours on record. This used to be a decent game. Then you added EAC, which sucks, but I still played. And now you've added some Epic Games heart. No, Epic is where I draw the line. This is Steam, heart you. But again, 2.4 hours on record. I mean, how much of this game were you actually playing? Is this really that big of a deal to you? I don't know. And I know the argument people are going to say is like, well, they only played 2.4 hours because they got so irritated with the Epic stuff. But, the phrasing, this used to be a decent game, just to me screams of somebody who bought the game, refunded it, or maybe is thinking about refunding it, and I just wanted to leave a crappy review. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now here is a legit review from someone who's actually a fan of the game. This is somebody who has 67.3 hours on record. You can tell they put a lot of time into Fall Guys. And they said, terrible incorporation of the Epic Games account. Honest, it's additional hassle. So that is somebody I would definitely trust, with an opinion on the game, considering they almost put 70 hours into the game. They've played quite a bit of it, have played a lot of Fall Guys, and are irritated with the way it was implemented. And I think that's a good review because it's from somebody that, obviously loves this game. Another one with not a whole lot of hours in here, 4.6 hours on record, now requires an Epic account to play for a Steam game. This game started fun but quickly faded fast, as it's pretty much the same stuff over and over again, and the fun doing that can only last so long, which, insert any game title here as far as that goes. The devs clearly don't care what their player base wants as well. Overall, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth dealing with trash devs. Well, I would not say that they're trash devs. I think they're a very good development team. However, I do agree with, the sentiment of, playing a game, not enjoying it after a few hours, and not enjoying the fact that you have to log into Epic as well. That I totally get. So here's another review that is suspicious to me. Only has 0.8 hours on record. Used to not require an Epic Games account to play. Such a pain in the ass now and not worth playing anymore. But you have 0.8 hours on record. So how much of this game were you actually planning to play or did play? Did you play this on a different account and then you bought the game again to leave a second negative review? These are the things I want to know. Like, how can you be somebody who's like, yeah, used to not require an Epic Games account? I mean, you could say that about any game, right? But you put 0.8 hours into it. You put less than an hour into this game. I mean, Come on. This one is not Epic related, but I absolutely love it. 64 hours on record. Boring as hell, not even worth $3. Oh my god, if it wasn't worth the money, then why did you put 64 hours into it? This is a review that I can kind of go back and forth on because it's somebody who has 30.7 hours into the game, so you could tell, again, that they put a bit of time into it. And they say, yeah, not making an Epic Games account. They should be giving refunds out as the game is unplayable as originally intended. So, there are some points there that, I could definitely understand. Considering where the game was sold, you have to actually, log into another account and that kind of thing. It is changing what the game originally was. But I do wonder how big of an actual hassle it is for people, or if it's like just a lot of hate for Epic. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to understand here. The other thing that's hard with reviews too is you don't really know what the average age is of everybody leaving reviews. Are these little kids that are just mad? Are these older folks who don't know how to run an account? I don't know. I don't know where we're at here. Again, could be a trustworthy review. 73.5 hours on record. Used to be fun, but now it's a mess. Half the time, you can't get a game going and it loads forever. And now you need to log in through Epic servers, so you need both Steam and Epic open. I hate this. I bought the game on Steam and use Steam, not another service. So that's another legitimate review I can definitely understand for sure. Putting in, again, another 70 hours into the game and being irritated that you have to, change the way that you already play the game. I completely understand where you're coming from there. The one thing I will say, though, is I really don't understand people who put like over 100 hours into a game and then give it a negative review. I have never understood that. If you really aren't enjoying yourself, why are you putting 114.7 hours into the game? Or 101 hours. Save yourself, don't buy this game. You played for over 100 hours. Like, what are you doing? So I can definitely understand a lot of the players' frustrations from different point of views here. It definitely feels like a big mix of like actual players who are mad about this, which I condone, I can definitely agree with and understand, and other players who like didn't play the game and just wanted to leave a crappy review. So it's really hard to pinpoint like where this is actually coming from, So the question I have here is, how long is a review considered recent? There's no official documentation on this official question, but on the Steam's review page, there is a mention that if your game was released 45 days ago and has enough recent reviews, I'm not really sure what the number is for enough recent reviews, but it basically says that your game page will start displaying the recent review level in addition to the all reviews level. So this lets the players know how the game is faring right after recent updates. So I guess that means that everyday reviews that are 45 days old are removed from recent and placed only in the all reviews category? That's how I take it. Anyway, where's this all going? What does this boil down to? Well, players seem to still like the game, but they hate Epic. And I don't think this is news to anybody. I mean, we've talked about this on the channel before, but I don't really understand why. All these years later, I don't get the hate. Now, I'm not like a Epic supporter or anything. I don't work for them or anything like that. But I just don't get why people don't like the company. Like, I get it, they're a big corporation, but there's several big corporations that people like, and people like Nintendo, for instance. Nintendo doesn't always make the best decisions, but they still seem to have like a lot of really positive, flag carriers for them. I don't understand. I feel like I run into more Epic haters than appreciators. So is it because of Fortnite? Are people just being elitist because they don't like the demographic of, kids or young adults who play Fortnite? They don't like how big it is? Is that what it is? Or is this something else? I don't know, but I think it's plain to see from reading some of those reviews that some of them are just biased reviews. They're absolutely biased because they don't like Epic. Or is it something else? I have no idea, but the one thing I can say, though, is that from reading some of those reviews on the page, I think it's easy to see that people are definitely biased against the company. What I can say that's a positive note for Epic, though, is that basically every week for the past few years, they have given people free PC games, like games you can actually go on the launcher and claim and keep forever on your account. And I don't know, guys, free is free. It's how I look at it. I don't care who's giving it, And, on another positive note, too, for what they've done for Rocket League, for these past couple of years by adding cross progression and cross platform play. It's amazing, and I only assume with Fall Guys it's just going to get better once they start releasing the Switch and the Xbox versions, and those all, you know, cross platform play. Like, I think that these are great features that they're adding to games. But hey, maybe you can enlighten me in the comments. Let me know why you hate Epic. Maybe you just loathe them for whatever reason. Let me know why. Or maybe you love them. If you love them, tell me why too. I mean, is Epic really that bad, or do you think players are just kind of picking a fight here? What do you guys think? I guess another question I want to end this video on too is because Epic has already bought Psyonix for Rocket League, and they've bought Mediatonic for Fall Guys here. I guess the question is, who's next? Two came to mind for me. One is Innersloth, the development team that has made Among Us, which has become very, very popular. And the other is 10 Chambers with GTFO. Both are pretty popular online games, and I believe they're both independent companies, right? So it seems to be the pattern of company that Epic is buying. Independent companies with a very popular online game. So those are my picks, but if you guys have other picks, let me know in the comments. What do you think, you know, they're going to go after next? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.